Okay, this is just a quick video to compare the key of the Proton X50, alright, oops, against the other keys that I have. Unfortunately, I don't have the Maxus with me, I don't have the Jaguar E-Pace with me, I don't have the Ray 4 with me, it's all with my team members. So, just a quick look. First of all, it has a unique shape. It doesn't look like any other key out there. And most importantly, it is finished in a rather cool textured silver-ish kind of plastic. Of course, there's a wrapper here to protect it. So I'm not going to peel off the wrapper because it's rather unobtrusive. I think other car makers who wants to protect their batteries can learn from Proton on this. Okay. Now, it's a very nice shape and it has a certain weight to it. So we see all car makers now has gotten into this whole key fob thing, which was started by the Germans, of course. But a lot of Japanese car makers, they really just mimic the shape and look of it, but then they did not create that kind of substantiality of the weightage of the thing. You know, they don't feel weighty enough. I don't mean you need to be extremely heavy, but there needs to be a certain heft to it to feel the quality of the item. A lot of Japanese car makers, their keys are as bulgy as this, but it feels hollow, it feels very lightweight, and a lot of them still use the gloss black plastics, the cheap gloss black plastics that get scratch all over them. A good look would be Audi's key. Of course, this is not the latest Audi key, this is one generation ago, but it has a very hefty feel to it. This part of the outer casing plastic feels very hard wearing. Alright, it's matte, but it's solid and hard. And then the surface, the gloss black surface, also doesn't scratch that easily, even though it will scratch. I mean, if you prolong use, right, this part will start to fade. Okay, and this key was also shared with Lamborghini. So Lamborghini has a different head. This is like a, I think it's a die cast. All right, it's not metal, it's die cast. So Lamborghini has a different shape, but it shares the same housing, and then of course Lamborghini has a different badge at the back. All right, so yeah, this key was never shared with Volkswagen. Volkswagen has a different set of keys. This one is just between Audi and Lamborghini, because technically speaking, the subsidiary that bought over Lamborghini is actually Audi, not VAG Group per se. All right. The buttons have a very nice satin chrome finish to it. This is the same material that they use on their window buttons and their MMI control buttons, so it's very smooth, very metal. It feels like polished metal. Very nice finish, and overall it is one of the best keys or key fob, you know, for the past few years. All right, there are newer ones now, of course, but yeah, this one is, and it's very easily understandable because the lock button bulges up, the flat one is at the back. All right, and that's the boot release. So that's Audi's key. As for the Proton's key, the buttons are plastic, obviously plastic, even the casing is plastic. All right, but the whole thing feels very well constructed. In fact, in hand it feels higher quality than the previous generation BMW key. This is the key from the F series BMW. Sorry, a visit to the workshop would always get this little sticker at the back. All right, slowly does it. Now this is plastic as well. It's matte plastic, and this part is painted plastic. There's a little bit of a metallic shine to it, but the quality of this material and the on the buttons is not in the same league as the quality of this on the Audi. Okay, overall structural, you look at the the structure of the key, right? Actually, there's a little gap here, right? But it's almost undiscernible. I mean, it's a different type of construction. BMWs is just upper and lower housing, you know, put together, clipped together, and the part that opens, this is the mechanical key. That is okay. That's the mechanical key, and you need to pry it to open it. As opposed to Audi's, it's very well constructed, and you have another secondary button. You press and then you pull out the battery. Whereas BMW's one, you need to use the key to pry it, which is not as well built as this, not as well thought out as this. All right, and I had one key like totally died off, and I have to buy another key. All right, that has never happened to my Audi key, even my previous Audi. Basically, my experience with Audis is that the electronics of the car rarely go wrong. The radio, the CD changer, the seat memory controls, the seat power, the power seats, the power mirrors, all these electronics, right? They rarely go out. They are very reliable. All right. Whereas BMW, I mean, my BMW is reliable as well, but one of my keys died in its first year when I got the car. At first I thought it's battery, but sooner or later I realized it's the key. It cost me about 1,200 ringgit, which is a far cry from those days where keyless fobs first appeared. They can cost up to 5,000-6,000 ringgit back then. All right, of course it's dealer markup. Here we have a Porsche key that is of the same size and material and build as the real key, but this is actually a thumb drive, so it's a lot lighter. It's a lot lighter. There are no batteries inside, and but the whole finishing, even the buttons, they feel exactly like the real one. This was from the generation of Panameras, so it has the Panamera shape, and then it soon went to every other Porsche, but now they have a different shape of key. Now they have a key that doesn't look so Panamera-ish. All right, and yeah, it's just lying around here. It's my favorite thumb drive. And here we have an Aston Martin key, but of course they have changed it to key fobs as well, so you are no longer needed to slot the key in. So Aston Martin back then, they have a unique operating procedure where you slot the key into a rounded housing with another crystal front that looks exactly like this, and that one is spring loaded. So when you put this in, you actually replace that front, so it looks exactly the same after you slot it in, as opposed to when you take out your key. Very intricate process. You slot it in fully, then the car will start. All right. The earlier batches, you need to slot it in and hold it there while you wait for the starter to start the car, to the whole initiation. Mine is the later generation where you just slot it in and then you can let go and then the car will start, you know, all the procedure. So I really like this key, and I also like the interaction of one of the driver holding the key and using the key to interact with the car, as opposed to a full keyless system where technically speaking you just leave it in your pocket and you go about your day. This one is very heavy. In fact, it is the heaviest key here. It is heavier than this because again, Aston Martin don't use plastics or fake materials, so this part is actually real metal, and this one is actually real. It's not just glass, it's crystal. All right, this is finished in crystal, so if you dropped it, you're gonna have a little bit of a chip like this one. If you're lucky, if you're unlucky, the whole thing will just smash, and then you need to spend almost up to 10,000 ringgit to replace it. Yes, very expensive. All right, so these buttons, these little buttons are actually the markings of the button is actually underneath. All right, and then this part is, of course, this part will be plastic. All right, so there are no other materials that are suitable for this, but overall it's a nice size. To me, it's a tad too small. I would prefer it to be this size. It's a little bit too small, but then the fact that you need to slot the entire key in, this is, I would say, a balance. So what I do with this key is that I have to handle them very, very carefully every time I use it. So I always put it into my pouch. All right, at least it provides some form of scratch protection. All right, this pouch has been with me since my first car. All right, don't worry, I wash it regularly. So you can see it's a Sony Ericsson pouch. Phones used to be this small, and I'm just amazed looking at it because I used to slot in my P900 into this pouch. I thought that's a smartphone. I thought that was a big phone back then. Anyway, so this pouch has been with me for every single car that I daily drive. I've always used that. This is a little aftermarket fake little condomy rubber thing for Audis, but I reckon they don't need any protection because it's very hard wearing, and I like looking at them. So I use this to protect my spare key upside down, just to protect the glass part, or sorry, the crystal part. Anyway, this key is very well designed. In terms of design and shape, I think it's prettier than this, and it's certainly prettier than this. This one holds really nice in the hand, the tapered shape, which was mimicked here. There's a tapered shape here as well. This one's sort of flat from front to bottom. Okay, this is heavy, sturdy. This one is also sturdy, way sturdier than a lot of other keys that I see from Japanese or Korean car makers. All right, so this is good, a good key, and I've never expected to spend so much time talking about keys. So this is Proton X50's key, and I'm gonna go do a walk around video on the car. I've already done a video of the car, but that was like a special invite from my friend, you know, spur of the moment thing. But now actually I get a test unit from Proton. I'm just gonna fiddle around with it more. Cheers. That video will of course be another video. All right, so yeah, cheers.
Thank God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And if quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in there. Damn man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Working for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have them yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though.
See